We are looking at the converse of the Pythagorean theorem, and the outcome is to be able to use the converse of the Pythagorean theorem to determine if given sides are really the given sides, or let me rephrase that, if the sides given could represent the sides of a right triangle. In other words, if you are given three sides such as 11, 12, and 13, can you use the converse of the Pythagorean theorem to tell whether they represent the sides of a right triangle? That is the outcome for this lesson. The Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's used to find the missing side of a right triangle. A squared plus b squared equals c squared represents the legs squared plus the legs squared equal to the hypotenuse squared. We have notes here on how you use the Pythagorean theorem if you're given two legs, and how you would use the Pythagorean theorem if you are given one leg and a hypotenuse. Although these are not the only ways that we can use Pythagorean theorem, we also set it up in an equation. The converse of the Pythagorean theorem says that if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, then it is a right triangle. And of course, c is the longest side. What we're going to do is put this to work. So let's get started. We'll do one together. Let's go back to the sides that I had, 11, 12, and 13. Do they form a right triangle? In order to determine if they form a right triangle, we have to find a leg and a hypotenuse using the Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is the longest side, so this is going to be the hypotenuse. So we need to see if 11 squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. 11 squared is 121, 12 squared is 144, 13 squared is 169. 121 plus 144 is 265. And 265 does not equal 169. Therefore, no, they do not form the sides of a right triangle. Alright, so now you are going to use the same process to determine if the sides 3, 4, and 10 form the sides of a right triangle. Pause it, do the work, come back and check your work. Graph paper in an orange basket on the bookshelf. So, the longest side, C is the hypotenuse, C is the longest side. So, we need to see if 3 squared plus 4 squared equal 10 squared. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 10 squared is 100. 9 plus 16 is 25, and 25 does not equal 100. Therefore, no, they do not form the sides of a right triangle. And I left off do not right here. No, they do not. And over here, no, they do not form the sides of a right triangle. And the same is true for number 2. They do not form a right triangle. They would form a right triangle if this 10 had been 25. So if this number had been 25, which means that if this number had been 5 squared, then we would be able to say yes, they form a right triangle. Your assignment will be attached to this video.